Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Fatback 4 Daily. It is Sunday night, and Liverpool have beaten Manchester United by 2-0. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer came out and talked absolute garbage after the game. His team are skilled. He's just going to have to realise that Liverpool are 30 points clear of Manchester United, and look, that says it all. I think we're about 16 points clear with the game in hand at this stage. I've lost count. Literally, lads, I'm not messing. We're champions elect. Here we go. And here we go. Everybody's very welcome. The chat room is absolutely going mad straight off the bat. So we'll get to that as we go. With me tonight, I have Keith and I have Chris. They're going to talk through the game, lineups, formations, tactics, how the game went, goals, VAR. It's all going to happen tonight. Keith, I'm going to come to you first. The lineup for Liverpool was as expected. Maybe Lallana, Imre shout instead of Oxlade-Chamberlain, but he goes with the team that starts at Spurs last week, and I suppose it's the one you thought was going to happen, didn't you?
Yeah. I mean, there's no surprises there. Maybe a lot of people were thinking Lallana might have gone in and would have been deserved to be in as well. But I think Oxlade-Chamberlain, he didn't have the best of games today, but you can see why he's in there. He can break the lines. He can get out wide. He can whip a ball in. A bit more attacking threat maybe than Lallana had. But yeah, no, team was as expected, unlike their team. But
we get on to them in a minute. Chris, were you happy enough with the team? You wanted Ox there instead of Lallana. It was the only real choice that was going into this game. Were you happy with Oxlade-Chamberlain in there as opposed to Adam Lallana?
Yeah, I was happy with him because I think Lallana at the moment, I think he should have been Tottenham. He's getting quite good at doing the Milner impersonation for the last 20 minutes, half an hour, just keeping hold of the ball. I still think with Chamberlain, because the type of team they are, because they're really deep, is he does give us that X factor from distance, which I don't think any of the rest of our midfield do.
Yeah, no. Listen, when it comes to the midfield, we're low on options. In real terms, we're low on options. I know Fabinho's coming back, and you might see him. You may see him do something again, properly against Spurs. Or not against Spurs, against Wolves. I have Spurs in the brain today for some reason. I don't know why. But you might see him coming back in there. Keita looks like he's 3 or 4 weeks away. Minamino's a new sign, and we don't know where he's gonna actually fit in as the season progresses. And towards the end of the season, I suppose now we're well into the second half of the season now. But it was just, for me, it was a lineup that was perfect. I didn't want us. I was talking to KLOPP back during the week, Friday night I think it was, and I was saying to him that I didn't want us to change our system for them. I didn't want us to change our approach because they're not fucking worth changing their approach for. That's being honest with you. Keith, you touched on United there. I was blown away by the lineup they put out. What was he thinking?
It's the $1 million question, that, isn't it, Gav? What was he thinking? I mean, trying to get into his mind. It's a scary thought. I mean, I could see to an extent, right, he's doubling up at fullback like what Mourinho done last week. But Luke Shaw and Brandon Williams probably aren't the best two to be using in that. It's the opposite really to what Mourinho had: big, athletic, quick, strong, fast. He had them all. Man United today, no, I don't know what he was thinking with the selection. Matic is like a wardrobe in midfield. The advantage I have in him playing is that he seems to get about 8 fouls before he gets pulled up for the yellow card.
Yeah. It really is. Yeah.
Their team is just like they're an absolute joke shop, and it's as bad as I can remember United in the sense that their team is woeful, but the absolute gawk that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is coming out with these days, it's the cherry on top.
Well, I'll ask you something. Like, there's loads of comments coming in here, right? B2 Life says Ox was sound defensively and was very good before being subbed. I like the way he was getting bang into tackles.
Yeah.
Absolutely banging the tackles. I was really, really into that. Aaron Wan-Bissaka is a bum, says Barry Carr. Northred says, did you see VVD's look of absolute disdain for the Dogs when he scored? Yeah, it was. I'll get on to that now in a couple of minutes. Let me see. 8, 9, 10 matches from now, we face the Ev away, the Hodge and City away. Where do we want it? Anywhere at all. Anywhere at all. Owen Neil says, only one United player was okay today, and that was Fred. Yeah, I thought he worked quite well. Wardrobe in midfield, says Carl Duff with a smiley face. Yeah, I think he agrees with what you said there. Kev says their lineup was one set up not to lose. I had success for the first 10 minutes, and we just moved it faster, isolated their wing backs, and that was the end of that tactic. We will get on to all those bits as we go along, and I'm not ignoring people on the chat. The things are flying in there. But Keith, what you said there, the stuff he's coming out with, I know it's hard for you to figure this one, but as a United fan, does anything that he says after that game appease you?
Oh, I wouldn't have thought so. Jesus, no. I mean, look, we've all lived through this. He has, and he's getting away with the fact that he scored a winner in the Champions League final, but there's only so much of that he can get away with. It's absolutely... I mean, we've been through this with the likes of Hodgson, talking like he's managing Ragball Rovers and you should be happy with a defeat. We've seen this. Do you know what I mean? But this fella, it's just beggars belief. At least we sussed out Hodgson after a few games and ran him out of town, rightly so. The United fans, they're still supporting him. They're still backing him.
This is what I'm saying. Like, if you're, they are still backing him, and I feel like I was saying the other night that what he says is to appease the fans. He comes out there after the game, right? And one thing I seen was, and we'll get on to the game itself, but just this is one small thing. He comes out and he says, "Oh, Liverpool are top of the league, and they deserve to be. They play long balls, they play for second balls, they play for corners." Like, seriously, is he on the same planet as us?
No, but it's just crazy, and they don't cut you open. Like, is this fella, like, what goes through his head? If you're a United fan and you're having to sit and watch the crap that they're serving up, and whoever said Fred was brilliant today, in fairness to him, he was very good. The only real threat they had was coming from him, and it wasn't even much of a threat, in all honesty. If you're looking at that, that's your team, and double, like we have it in one way, we're sauntering top of the league and we're looking and laughing at them, whereas they're looking at us flying off into the sunset, and then they're having to listen to this fella talking absolute muck. Must be laden soul destroying for them, but I've no sympathy for them. Like, make that clear. I've fucking zero sympathy for them. I'm delighted.
No, and
you know what I mean?
And look, we'll probably get on to the aftermath of the game. That just popped up there, so we went with it. And Tico says the scum are us under Hodgson and glorified Stoke with money. Everyone should keep supporting. Everyone should keep supporting Ole, says Phil. Phil of the Day Trippers fame says Tyler sounded like he was having a wank using a piece of granite while shaving his underscrow with and I don't know what he means after that, so we'll have to leave it there. Barry Carr says they're tumbling. Centurion says, I'm absolutely loving the boil from rivals. I'm all over it. I love it. Barry Carr says Fred was their best player. They're finished. They're tumbling. Owen says it still baffles him that the game ended 2-0. It should have been 4-0 at least. We'll get on to that, but look, Chris, the opening exchanges, Liverpool are on top. They're passing it around. They have a lot of the possession, and you know they go through the gears quite quickly. I felt from in the first 15 minutes they didn't wait around to see what United were offering, but they just stepped it up, and they get the goal on 14-15 minutes of Van Dijk header, and it was that straightforward, wasn't it? Another assist for Trent Alexander-Arnold, but it was a superb header.
Oh, brilliant header. Yeah, I mean, I thought first five probably United had more of the ball, but I don't know if that was by design, just to kind of see what have they got. Which was
I think it was more of a figuring out tactic. Like, are they going to make Shaw as a third centre half? Are they going to, push Williams forward and put Shaw in at left back? I think it was more a case of let's just see where they're plotting this and then we go.
Yeah, I mean, the corner's comical because I mean, they're trying to get that young kid Brandon Williams, who I think probably will become a good player, to Mark Van Dijk. I mean, it's just he's a midget compared to Van Dijk. Why would you do it?
Yeah, it's crazy defending the zones. It's.
I seen a clip of Mark Goldbridge afterwards, and it's the clip as
he calls it, doesn't he?
As Liverpool score, and he says, "Oh, zonal marking for this corner. I don't like zonal marking," and bang, it's a goal. And he's obviously watching enough of United. It's one of those where he's watching it and he's going, yeah, we're not good at this and it's not going to end well. Let me see. Centurions asked, how in God name did Salah not score more? Yeah, it was one of those, but look, he done it in the end. Barry Carr reckons Bruno will be announced tomorrow in the same fashion we did Fabinho. That's a mad one. We were on the pod the other night and it was like, it's going to be 45 million plus 17 million add-ons or something. It was mad stuff like.
And they want
the disallowed goal, but we'll get onto that as well. But Keith, it's a really, really good header, and as someone said there, Van Dijk runs away from that goal. Like, it's a really good ball in. He gets on the end of it. He nearly puts his hand on the defender, which I thought VAR loved this, but he pulls away from it. He gets up, he gets a header on it. People have criticised De Gea. I think it's past De Gea before he can even react. But then you see him running away, and you know what the biggest thing for me was? He ran away there, and all right, he was real cool and real calm, and he did look at the United fans as if to go, fuck yous. But it was that look of pure and utter confidence on what this team are doing. That's what I felt when he scored.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's a great goal. You're right. De Gea can't do anything about that.
No.
You know what I mean? We can slay him for a lot of things, but he couldn't do anything about that. As you say, it's a free header from someone that's running onto it, that's 6'4" or 6'5", and he's being marked by a fella who's probably 5'10". Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a bullet header. It's a great delivery, and if you're that size and you're getting onto that, no keeper's going to save that. Do you know what I mean? Like, no. So we can't criticise him for that.
I think because it wasn't right in the corner, people criticised him. But
yeah,
it doesn't matter.
Sometimes they're hard at the save.
But that could be straight above his head, and I don't think he gets it. I think it's just a bullet header, you know, that kind of way.
I reckon if it was going at him, he'd have moved out of the way.
Yeah, but listen, it put us 1-0 up, and I was delighted because I thought I don't want this to get to 25-30 minutes and it's 0-0, and they start to get into it, and then they're getting, you know, when it gets scrappy then, and the ref's giving a couple of fouls and momentum starts to drop, and I was really, really happy with that. From there on in, Chris, I thought we were brilliant. I thought we controlled it. We passed it really well. The tempo was really, really good. Wijnaldum, I thought, was brilliant in midfield. I'm going to be honest, I thought he was brilliant. Henderson, the same. Like, we'll get on to all these players later, but I just want to give them two a mention. I thought they were really good in midfield. We move on to the disallowed goal. And a couple of things about this one, Chris, right? Firstly, I don't think it's a foul. Secondly, I don't know what the United defender's playing at by chesting it down, having a look around, composing himself, getting out of his feet, and then giving it straight to Sadio Mane. I was literally thinking about it about 10 minutes ago, and I was thinking, did I see that right? And then I thought, no, I did. And it was a brilliant finish by Firmino. But Chris, when VAR was being judged on this, I thought to myself, they're not giving this for the simple reason he got done by Everton at Old Trafford going back probably 6 or 8 weeks ago when Ferguson was in charge of Everton. When Calvert-Lewin went in on De Gea with an aerial challenge, and it wasn't given. And I knew straight away this was going to be disallowed. And I think it's a disgrace because Van Dijk jumps, doesn't use his arms, his head is up in the air, his arms are nearly down by his side. How did he disallow that goal, Chris?
Absolutely no idea. It's absolutely comical. It's a goal when you've even got Gary Neville and Roy Keane's instant reactions going, well, that's crap defended by United. And then you have Tyler going, they might disallow this. And you can see them both going, for what? As anything, look, we all have our biases to our teams, but when, the most Man United supporters as pundits are going, that's fine, that. Like, they're all moaning about the hair not being strong enough.
Yeah, like Phil is saying there, it's the laws of the game. That's the problem here. You cannot make contact with a keeper when he's in the air. Now, listen, Phil, I think you can as long as you don't impede him. And Van Dijk's clever because he has to keep his hands down. Well, that's what I'm saying. Van Dijk has his back to the goalkeeper, jumps in the air, and is, what I'm trying to say is the part of his body that's furthest, highest up is his head. Usually you'd see an arm up, but his head is the highest part, and he doesn't even know where the head is. He's just looking to head the ball. I just think the head is a little bit weak there. Yeah, well, it comes to the VAR official. I'm not going to say VAR. It's the guy watching the telly. The guy watching the telly said his reason was Van Dijk's making no attempt for the ball, and yet he wins the header. Yeah. So if you win the header, surely you're making a logical attempt for the ball. Yeah, because I don't even think De Gea or Van Dijk takes a look at De Gea. I think he takes one look to see where he is before he jumps, probably to make sure he doesn't connect with him. Mm-hmm. But other than that, it's not like he's looking for him. It's all one of those ones where you've seen strikers jump in and they go, I just want to leave one on the keeper just to rough him up. There's nothing like that. Yeah. I was gutted for Firmino because Fano would have broken his Anfield duck. Yeah. That was the thing. It was a bit of a shaky, lovely finish. Dylan reckons that it was just an easier decision to disallow it, and the reaction of the United players. De Gea was going absolutely mad, but I kind of read that as you've been weak there, but you should be up and catching that. Phil has backed it up and said you can't make contact, doesn't matter what part of the body. Well, I'll put it to this way: if he wins a header and it goes in the goal and he contacts De Gea, is the goal disallowed because De Gea went for it? It's one of those. But look, it didn't matter in the end. I just thought it was a bit of a strange decision. Let me see. Souness had a great point. How can you challenge for the ball in any other way? Well, that's the thing. Do we just stop jumping for balls when keepers are around? Keeper jumps into VVD, says Barry Carr. Not says United players' intimidation of ref was unreal and no mention of it. They did get in his face. They did get in his face an awful lot. But you see, that's not. I've seen teams other than Liverpool and other teams not even playing Liverpool, but just general football, and they're in referees' ears because they know they're superior in the game and they're not going to let that slip. That today just looked like a panic from early on. Wonklash, that's a great name. He says it was a foul. It was some finish by Bobby. Fair enough. Different opinions. Absolutely fine by me. How much fairer was Van Dijk meant to win the ball? Shocking decision again, says Megan. That's where I kind of am on it. He's up. His head is the highest part of his body. It's not his arm. He's not putting his arm out. His arm's nearly by his side. What are you meant to do? But we'll have to wait and see. The ref.
We've been conditioned to this thing that you can't, challenge a goalkeeper. You know what I mean? And I don't think that's an actual rule, is it? You know what I mean? You can challenge the ball once you don't impede them. Now, Van Dijk didn't, as you said, he didn't lead with his arms. He didn't raise his arms. It was De Gea came into Van Dijk nearly and got the contact, whereas the Calvert-Lewin one, that was a hand in his face. You can sort of understand that one. They should have got that one chalked off, but it just seems a bit mad. Like, I thought Van Dijk, did you see his interview afterwards? And he's like, look, it wasn't given. It is what it is. He's not making that now with that, which is the way to do it. You know what I mean? Like the Liverpool players hadn't using the excuse of the VAR. So if they have enough.
If you're going to use the excuse of VAR, use it. How can I put it? Use your excuses when they have the most merit. We've won the game. It's gonna do us no favours whatsoever.
Yeah.
Wait. God forbid we draw it.
Well, Barry Carr is saying is clear and obvious, but the thing is, it goes in as a goal. So everything has to be looked at by VAR. And they probably come back and say, but somebody did say, look, the referee has a clear view of it and doesn't see anything wrong. But look, leave it at that. John Red says Wan-Bissaka needed oxygen in the end.
He was good, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
Second half, looked like he had a curry at half time, that fella.
Let me see. Antico says, was it me at the match being silly? How did Matic stay on the pitch? Consistent fouls and Maguire. Yeah, he did. And this is the thing, they seem to be niggling fouls here and there, and it was obviously a tactic to break us up and like that, break momentum, and you get these little fouls and even get a few on your side then if you're United, and then you say, we'll just kill this game, I suppose. Cop table asks how many wins now, Gav. It's 9. Daz Hale says 10. It's actually 9. If you win 9 games and include a win against City, and that the league's over. So there you go. Let me see. Chilk says the whole world is talking about LFC. I love it. It's like being 16 again. Chilk showing his age there. He's probably mid 40s, a little bit older than me, and that's absolutely fine. Kev O'Sullivan says it's important the players have that attitude. Sides generally concede when a VAR decision goes against them, so the attitude is great from Virgil. Yeah, look, they as much as getting an equaliser against you can put you down, and I was kind of going, just get to half time now, make 1-0, don't give them any sniff. And the mentality in this team is just, it's ridiculous, to be perfectly honest with you. Keith, the first half goes on, and after 25, that goal is disallowed by Firmino. We're well on top though, weren't we? Like, well on top.
I mean, they'd say they started the better of the two, but as we said there a second ago, I think they were just Liverpool were just sizing them up and seeing what shape they were playing. And once we got a grasp of that, there was only one team in it, and they didn't really offer anything. You know what I mean? They had one chance, I think, in the first half. It was only the Pereira back post. Was the only thing they offered, and that was I got Martin Tyler. Obviously, he was jumped up screaming, and that one nearly went in, but. Other than that, they didn't really offer anything. There was one team in it. We were all over them. We had, obviously, the goal that we scored, and then the 2 that were disallowed. We were really poor, I think, at that stage. And it was just a case of not putting away the chances or not getting the luck, you know what I mean? Again, the Genie one, great finish, but a fraction offside. Just get on with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's
Owen Newell says the Pereira chance would have been offside because Aaron Wan-Bissaka was offside. Yeah, I did think that, to be honest with you. Let me see. Dylan O'Rourke says he has a random question. Dylan, hold on to it, man. And when we get probably another 15, 20 minutes down the road, we'll absolutely ask for random questions because it generally and genuinely more important than football. We organised the whole wedding last week on this podcast, so that's how much we love random stuff. Let me see. Any other scoreline would have flattered them. With regards to 2-0, I think 2-0 did flatter United, I'm being honest with you. VVD looked like he'd been out for a midday stroll after the game during the interview with Carragher. Carragher had an eventful couple of minutes with Roy Keane as well, and I'll get onto that later.
Yeah.
But the start of the second half, Chris, and we started like a train. And I thought, we're definitely going to put the second one in here, and they'll definitely have to come out and play us a bit more, and I felt we could pick them off. And the 3 or 4-0 that people were, kind of putting out there as a prediction during the week could become a reality. We didn't seem to get the goal though, you see, if you look at the chances we have, Henderson hits the post and different things, Salah misses a sitter during the second half, but United weathered that storm, and he did come back into a little bit, Chris, let's be honest about it.
Yeah, they did, to be fair, they had to at some point, every team at some point has a chance. I mean, if the Henderson goal goes in, I'm in town for a week.
Yeah. So am I.
But in fairness to him, they did have the Martial chance, which had Gavin Neville having a hissy fit. But apart from that, when you look at the rest of the second half, that's the only chance.
That's it. Yeah.
And if you're saying to United, we gave United one big chance in the second half, and that's it, and we probably missed 3 really good ones plus the one we took. I'll take that. I'll take that most games, to be honest.
Yeah, well,
something we touched on. Sorry for coming across.
Okay.
Something we touched on the club pod the other night. That Martial chance should have been an easy chance, and if he shows any composure there, he slots that in. But forwards are not showing any composure when they're playing against us because you have Alisson in goal.
It's not only that, Keith, they know
past the defence.
They know if they get one chance, they must take it, and they're trying to make too sure of it. I think Martial in a game against Norwich, and he gets that chance, he puts it low. He puts it low, and he bends it around Alisson.
He's not doing what he done today.
No,
he's absolutely
not. But that's what I'm trying to say. Like I've seen people after the game say, "Oh, Liverpool kind of nicked another one at the end," and they were. Lucky wasn't the word I've seen, but I kind of went, watch the game. They have about 4 or 5 shots on target, and the best chance it actually doesn't go on target. But a couple that are on target are handy. The kind of way.
Oh, yeah.
They're absolutely handy. But Martial doesn't take that chance, and I when he doesn't take that chance, I think no, that they're not. This isn't happening for them. It's just not happening for them because I just didn't think Liverpool would make the same mistake again. That's being honest with you. Chris, the game continues on. There's a couple of chances here and there for both sides. More so for Liverpool, I would say. And we get to the last minute. I'm dying to get to this, right? Because I think it's the moment of the when you go back and look at moments of the decade, we're only a month into it, and this will definitely go down as one of them, right? So, a few people have asked, what game would you like to win the league? Would you like to win it at Everton, City? Would you like to win it at... I will take it anywhere. And
once we're playing.
No, I don't care. I do not care.
I don't want us to win it when we're not playing. I'd love it in a Liverpool match, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to win it because City played and get beaten during the week by someone. Mm-hmm. That'll take a little bit of the joy out of it, but that's the only thing.
I'd like to win at Goodison because it fucking should have happened. Can you imagine it?
Well, I have seen plenty of Everton fans saying if Liverpool come to Goodison needing a point or 3 points to win the league, most of them will sell their tickets to Liverpool fans.
Oh, they'll just go berserk. Because then City can give the guard of honour then, couldn't they? That'll be nice.
Richard asks how many more wins. He reckons 10. It's 9. It's definitely 9. People keep guessing me on this. It's 100% 9. If you win your next, if you win 9 more league games and include City in that, it's over. So we'll have to wait and see. Barry Carr reckons.
I'll say his current form, it could be less than that.
It could be less than that. Brady Carr reckons it's Bournemouth, early March. Richard always asks, where's Grizz tonight? He was due on tonight. He had a private matter he had to deal with, and that's all I'm going to go into. Nothing major, just he had a private matter he had to deal with, so I'll let him off tonight. I will dock his wages, so don't worry about it. I remember Centurion says, I remember hating United with getting away with it. Expected now that rivals need to panic. Sorry, it's gone off my screen. I will get that back to you in a minute. Tom Connolly says, even all you LFC legends, how are you, Tom? Hope you're well. Let me see. What else have we got? Alison the Baptist puts Pritt stick on his gloves, says Dylan. So listen, let's get down to it. Keith, we make it 2-0 late on in the game, 92nd minute. United are on the attack. It comes out. They put it back in the box. Their player's offside. Alison gets it. And the camera flashes to the linesman, who I believe is putting up the offside flag, but he's basically giving the thumbs up to the ref to go, yeah, play away. And Allison, instead of dropping on the ball and saying, lads, there's only 30 seconds left here, just decides, oh, look at that. There's Salah on his own, and just launches a 50-yard, 60-yard pass to him. A couple of things about it. Very brave to do that, Keith.
Yeah.
Salah is very, very composed and shows great strength. I've seen Daniel James is the one that chases him back. And I've seen people have a go and say, Daniel James should be stronger there. I don't think you're giving enough credit, are we, to how strong Salah is while in possession of the ball, while absolutely thundering at the goal. But I will say one thing, De Gea is a disgrace for him.
Yeah, he's brutal on it, isn't he? Again, Dan James, I agree. Like, he's there because he's quick and he's getting back, but he's a lightweight winger. You know what I mean? People don't give Salah the credit that he deserves for his strength. You know, on the ball, he's very hard to get off the ball. So when he's going through there, well, James might make up ground and get back at him. He's not going to get him off the ball. You're right. De Gea is the one that should be closing that off. But Jesus,
not even closing it off. It's like, I don't know, when Salah goes through, it's great strength, he gets through, he's holding off James easily, no problem. But the thing for me was, I don't know what De Gea is trying to do. He's not trying to narrow an angle. He doesn't pick a side and hope for the best. He literally just collapses as the ball's being hit towards him.
Does it go under his arm or under his legs or something? It was an awful effort. Whatever way it went in, it was.
If you see the replay back, he's too indecisive. Like, he decides he's going to come at Salah and he tracks back too quick. But in terms of Dan James, Salah is probably stronger than him, but I still think, being the cynic that I am, just trip him up. Yeah, take him out. Take the red.
Yeah,
because you know what, I've seen plenty of other Liverpool players and United players in the past who would just
Solskjaer being one of them.
Solskjaer being one of them.
I think Solskjaer done it while, was it against Liverpool or was it against Newcastle?
Newcastle, they were winning 1-0.
Yeah.
Winning 1-0, guy goes clean through. Solskjaer just crips him, wipes him out, takes the run, he gets applauded off. And do you know what? If you're a United fan, you go, fair enough. Yeah. That's what I want him to do.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to, I know he's not strong as Salah, but you can trip him up, take him out. That's unfortunately, that's a side of the game you have to do. And I guarantee you, if that was Sadio Mane or Salah, and they're in the same position, they're taking him out.
Yeah,
they won't care. They'll take him out and take the red and hope for the best next week.
I just couldn't believe how poor he was. Now, don't get me wrong, Salah probably gave him the eyes if he was going across goal and slipped it down the other side of him. But I just thought it was ridiculous. Chris, staying with you though. He scores. He runs off. He takes his jersey off. I'm all for that. I've no problem. Takes the yellow. But Alisson Becker, after hitting 50 to 60 yard pass, about 9 seconds later, is sliding towards the goal line at the KLOPP end. He's some bleeding speed, hasn't he?
He has come bleeding speed. It just brought out memories of Ngogan and Reina.
Yes, it did.
Interestingly enough, Alisson's been interviewed and it's on Twitter, and he said that's what first thing came to his head when Salah scored. I remember the Reina celebration.
Yeah,
it's quite funny, but that wasn't. But a few people said it, but you could tell the way we celebrated that. The only time I've ever seen Liverpool celebrate like that was probably when we beat Tottenham in the league. When you still thought the belief's on, the belief's in. Yes. I think that's what, although the players won't say it,
they felt that was the one.
You can tell by their reaction. I think the players think that's the one. This is the tricky January we had to get through now. Mm-hmm. They were the two probably arse games that everyone thought they're the games they're going to drop points in.
There's loads of mentions here for the KLOPP Table podcast. The KLOPP Table podcast is one of our podcasts. It's a really good podcast with Peter and Jay. They are they will be doing a preview for the Wolves game, which is on Thursday night, so you'll probably get that Wednesday at some stage. Get on that; it's really good. The lads talk really well, passionately, and 2 lads from Liverpool. So there you go. The game is wrapped up. Keith. The final whistle goes near the instant. It does go instantaneously, but it's a 2-0 win. And as Chris touched on there, do you feel the players, even with is it 16 games left or whatever we have? I'm struggling with numbers, Keith, and the reason is because you know the way you usually go, oh, we played 20, we won 15, and I'm kind of going, there's 20 fucking 1 wins in here now. 1 draw, so that's 22, so it leaves us with 16. But do you feel that even with 16 games to go and a 16-point lead with a game in hand, did you think, looking at them players, they felt like that's one that seals it? Because Carragher in commentary feels that that's the title.
Yeah, Carragher was saying it, and he mentioned it, didn't he, to Van Dijk, and Van Dijk wasn't having a bar of it, and Hendo wasn't having a bar of it, and Jurgen wasn't having a bar of it. But listen, they know they're not stupid, you know what I mean? It's another big hurdle that they've got over.
Massive.
Now, I actually think the Wolves game will be the trickiest of this little patch myself, but I think, it's a game that the neutrals are looking at and looking for a slip up from Liverpool, and they're looking at Spurs, they're looking at United. These are the ones, tricky fixtures. They're looking at a fixture list. They're not looking at the form or the teams. They're looking at the name on the page. And this is just another step closer. They all know. They're not stupid. It will take, I don't even know what it takes for us not to win this league now, because you say 10 more wins, right? I don't see where we're going to concede a goal. Never mind drop a point. Do you know what I mean? I think this is just getting ridiculous now.
It is getting ridiculous, and you're talking about Wolves, and you're talking about United, and you're talking about Spurs. I remember fans of other teams talking, and it goes back as far as Leicester. It goes back as far as when we come back from the World Club Cup, and they're saying I think we'd Leicester on the 26th, we'd Wolves on the 29th. I think we had Sheffield United on the 2nd. Would I be right in saying that? Followed by Spurs, followed by United, followed by Wolves, and I think a lot of people are holding out hope, and it's a little bit like last season when we were watching City win game after game towards the end of the season, and you're trying to pin your hopes on somebody.
You're clinging on to games. Burnley away. Exactly. Burnley away is a tricky place to go.
You're pinning your hopes on something that you don't really believe in, and I think that's what's happening now. And JJ says there, it's over now. Centurion asks, are you bothered about an invincible season? No, not really. No. I'd like to do 100 points. I would like to do that. But the invincible season, no, because I think if we start to wrap this up and we get past Atletico Madrid and we're in quarterfinals of European Cups, you may see a bit of rotation there where we're going, listen, we're winning this, but we're going to have to sacrifice a game or two for the sake of a Champions League run. And I wouldn't write us off in that competition either. One Clash says City have tricky games away now. We'd have to, look, all we could do is concentrate on ourselves, but like Chris is touching it, Keith's touching it, and he believes that the players felt that was a massive hurdle. I did as well, but I think if we like One Clash says there, if we beat Wolves in the next game, I think it's over. I think not that it's over. I think just it absolutely drags any hope out of everyone. Any hope they had left just gets absolutely dragged out of them, and they're just going like I looked at it the other day and I thought to myself, right, this is how we do it. Liverpool would have to lose so many games and draw so many games, and City would have to be perfect. And I said, right, I can find you 4 draws maybe, but I'm struggling for 3 defeats. That kind of way. And I just can't see it. Paddy says City's next 10 games are tough. They have Madrid in that time too. Kev reckons sides are going to start resting their better players against us, like they did versus City in the last 2 years. Centurion says get Grizz working on the Werner rumours. I don't know what's going on with Werner. I'm not interested in transfers right now. I have a league title to celebrate. Someone else asked Liverpool in May. That's absolutely the plan. But look,
March is this right, mate?
Yeah, but I'll be there in May anyway. I've organised myself a 3-day party for May, regardless of what happens. But look, the game is won. It's another win, Chris, and it's another 3 points. It's, I don't know, 64 points out of 66. It's scandalous, to be perfectly honest with you. It's absolutely scandalous. But when you look around that team today, the mentality was great. you know, you seen players come off against Spurs last week, and we're openly kind of saying that wasn't good enough. But today, I don't think any player can turn around and say it wasn't good enough. I thought it was really professional at times. It was well drilled at times. It was really exciting football at times. But the job got done. Who stood out for you today?
I think I tweeted. My big three were Henderson, Van Dijk, and he went under the radar again. Joe Gomez. I thought Joe Gomez had an excellent game again at centre back. I actually thought at first the two fullbacks were a little bit wasteful, but I thought the little spine triangle we've got there was brilliant.
Yes. Are you going with Joe Gomez?
I'm going to give. I think Henderson deserves it, but I think Joe Gomez deserves a bit of a shout out.
Okay, no worries. So are you giving it to Jordan Henderson then?
I agree with Henderson. I'm just saying, Henderson's man of the match for me, but I think Joe Gomez deserves a bit of a shout out. I thought he immense again. Gets
an honourable mention. Okay, Centurions reckon Gomez was a little bit suspect. So there you go. People watch games and have much varying opinions, I suppose. Let me see. Dylan O'Rourke asks, is there minutes for squad players this campaign, like Jones, Shaqiri, Williams, Elliott, etc.? I think there will be. If you go back to what I said a minute ago with regards to the Champions League, and he decides to sacrifice a couple of games, and by putting the likes of them players in, you may see them, yeah. But look, all you have to do is be in the squad and you get a medal. Like Harvey Elliott, get a medal.
5 appearances, I think, you have to get for.
I thought it was just if you're named in the 25-man squad now.
I think five.
I think you have to get 5 starts or sub appearances. You have to get around 5 games.
Right. Okay.
I think 5 guarantees, but I think they're given so many medals, so they can apply for medals for certain players.
I just feel if you make any sort of Premier League appearance or are involved in any squad, even like
it used to be more than that. It used to be about 10.
It used to be 10, but if you look at Adrian, if Alisson doesn't get injured there, Adrian say comes in for 3 games, right?
Yeah.
And it's a title right to the end, and he doesn't get a medal. If you're in a squad, whether you're used or unused, I believe you should get a medal. And I think Liverpool would do that anyway. But look, we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves.
Long term, it could help. Long term, this could help. This could be a benefit to us for next season, which is if we do get it one early-ish, given the likes of a Harvey Elliott or a Nico Williams or a Curtis Jones, 4 or 5 games, either last 30s or an hour. That's invaluable because I don't think you can give them that with a pressure off. It's very rare to have a pressure off game for Liverpool.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't mind seeing one of those on the bench every week, rotate them around, and if you get a chance to put them on, you put them on. That's the way I'd look at it. Let me see. Carlo says surely Genie deserves a mention. He will get a mention now in a second. Trust me. Let me see. One Clash says Gomez will keep out Matip and Lovren until the end of the season on this form, unless there's an injury. Shaq asked, wasn't it? It used to be 10 appearances. And the only reason I remember that is I think when Arsenal won it in 2004, they were trying to get Keown on the pitch as much as they can near the end. The party in May, if we win the league, will be like nothing anyone has ever seen, says Antico. I absolutely agree with you. Deep says get Gerrard on loan. No. I don't think you can ring Rangers and ask them for that manager. Madness.
Will run in.
Let me see. Centurion says City. Let me see. Arsenal, United, Spurs, Sheffield, Chelsea drop points. Not a bad week. No, it's a really good week. Keith, who for you stood out? Man of the match was.
I thought Henderson was amazing. And to be honest, I thought he was absolutely brilliant. But I thought him and Genie in there, I thought were just brilliant. Do you know what I mean? The strength that Genie has on the ball and getting out of, tight situations, he's unreal. I thought Henderson deserved it, but to be honest, and Virgil was great as well. Our Genie for me.
It's hard to give to a guy though sat in the deck chair all day, isn't it?
Okay, so you're giving it to both of you are giving it to Henderson, yeah. I think Henderson's a great
I'm changing it to Genie.
Okay, good stuff.
Just to be different.
Yeah, no problem. It just shows how good this side is when it's becoming really difficult, and you can probably name 4, 5, 6, 7 players every week where you go, he's in with a shout for man of the match.
But it also shows as well that we'll say Genie or Hendo, and if you nearly every week they're getting mentioned in the man of the match conversation. If you ask anyone who's in the team of the year, they're not getting mentioned. They wouldn't even be getting on most people's bench for team of the year. Not Liverpool, I'm talking general. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? They get so little credit or respect. Well, I mean, we know Henderson gets so little credit or respect even among some of our own fans. But to the outside fans, like, you'd swear these were just absolute passengers and we're all about the front three and the keeper and Van Dijk. Like, these boys are absolutely sensational in midfield, and they're the constants in the team. I think they've the most minutes. Henderson and Wijnaldum at the most minutes. Maybe Van Dijk might be ahead of them, but you know, they're up there. They're certainly up there, and it just goes so important to the way we play.
There's loads of people coming in here. Like JJ says, I think he said Henderson or Van Dijk for him. Porrick says Gini and Hendo have been boss since Fabinho got injured. They have been. Dylan O'Rourke said Salah, often selfish and hungry for goals. So many interceptions and tackles up and down all day. There you go. There's one a bit left field, I suppose. What are the odds for the league and Champions League double? Well, I'd say we're about 20-30 to 1 on for the league. So you're probably...
What's the treble?
I'm not discussing that, but I'm only interested in the league, and I won't be drawn on it.
What do you call 5? Because we've got the Super Cup and the World Cup things. So the quintuple.
Yeah.
Right, we'll have
doesn't roll the top, does it?
Yeah, the quintuple.
Who's your man of the match, Gav?
Do you know what? Like, just a couple more in there. One Clash says Hendo was immense. VVD Hendo Mane every week. Hendo man of the match, outstanding, says Paddy. The Ox was brilliant again today. 1,000 to 1 on for the league, lads. We couldn't be 1,000 to 1 on, could we? We might be, Dylan. Actually, seeing Dylan's name always reminds me. Random questions. If you have any, throw them in there in the next 5 minutes, and we'll try to get through a few before we're probably going to go to the hour. But it's 11 to 1. Kev O'Sullivan reckons on the league and European Cup double. My man of the match. I think it's hard to look past Henderson. I'm being honest with you. I liked Gomez. I liked Van Dijk. The fullbacks were okay. Wijnaldum I thought was brilliant. Mane was quiet enough. Firmino was okay. Salah gets the goal, misses a good chance. But do you know what? I'd nearly give it to Alisson for that pass and that knee slide just to annoy people. But no, I think Henderson was absolutely outstanding. And sometimes I'm a bit hesitant to give Henderson the man of the match because people just come back and go, "Oh, well, you're always like that." I think if you watch that game back, watch the highlights package.
How can you not?
Yeah, watch the whole game again. I think he was absolutely outstanding. So yeah, I'd probably go with Jordan Henderson. Let me see. Oh Jesus. Aunt Dicko says both my brothers got engaged Christmas Day. Any advice stag do wise? Are you doing it? Right, so Aunt, I need to know 2 things. 1, where you're from, and 2, is it going to be a joint stags? Just let me know. One Clash says Alisson lads, pure class. Random question from Dylan O'Rourke. How many? I was nearly hesitant to read that. How many 12-year-olds could you fight at once and guarantee a win? It depends. If they're fucking karate experts, you're fighting one of them. Do you know what I mean? I don't know.
Else go around with knives and all now.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Get through one.
Yeah, and you can't be bashing 12-year-olds. Do you know what I mean?
I think there's a law against that.
Yeah, I don't think you can be clipping 12 or boxing 12-year-olds in the head. No, I don't think
you can, but you just can't celebrate it.
Yeah, you can't go online. You can't go online and go, lads, I bashed a load of 12-year-olds.
Yeah, what have I done?
I can't. I can't. We can't condone that sort of stuff, Dylan. So get me. Get me another question, Dylan, please. Ant Dicko says Liverpool. Yeah, from Liverpool, Ant. Good man. No dates, just any advice. I would say Dublin, but it's too expensive.
Budapest is good.
Budapest, I've heard, really good. People mention Prague. I went to one in Frankfurt, believe it or not, and it was brilliant.
I had mine in Frankfurt as well.
Brilliant.
I had mine in Newcastle.
Yeah, brilliant. Newcastle's a great spot. If it's a joint stag do, you see, you're going to have friends from both of them. And then, family from both of them. Obviously not family from both of them because they're brothers, but, like in-law families and stuff like that. So it's going to be a place where you want to go and they're a little bit not too strict on a group of lads going in.
Liverpool in May.
Well, they're from Liverpool.
Yeah, well, there's going to be loads of parades on, so stay there.
Yeah, so we, I don't know, I think, I'm trying to think now of any other places. Newcastle's a really good show. If you don't want to go foreign, like a lot of people would say, yeah, but then you're looking down the lines of Benidorm and stuff like that. You know the kind of way.
Albufeira is nice for stags and hens.
Albufeira, yeah. Portugal. I just play golf. I'd knock that bleeding stag down the head. I just go and play golf. I would. Frankfurt. Any trouble with language? Says JJ. No, the Germans.
Just say beer. Just say beer. Dead loud.
The Germans are sound. brilliant with the English. They really are. Barcelona for a stag, says Paddy. Kilkenny is great in Ireland. Yeah, Kilkenny's really good, and they don't mind stags there at all. Or Albufeira if you're looking abroad, says Dylan. So there's some good advice. If you've any other questions, throw them in before we finish.
I've got one shout out because, and you'll know this, Gav, because it's dear to my heart. Liverpool women finally got their first win of the league.
Yes, nice one. Who'd you beat?
Bristol 1-0 away.
Lovely. Tough place to go.
New signing scored, and our goalie saved a penalty with about 15 to go.
Lovely. 1-0 win, save a penalty. Love it. They're on the roll. Royston laughs at the fact Dublin. Dublin's great, but it's just ridiculous. The prices are ridiculous. And most people, what they do is they end up going to a place called Temple Bar and paying, I'm not messing, 8-9 quid a pint, and then they wonder when they go home, where did all my money go? Did you watch the Sunday supplement today? Interesting, Avo.
Bring that up, yeah.
Right.
Let's not talk about that. He's at Bell
Come here, I'll tell you what to do, Avo. Go and watch the 2-minute clip that's on Twitter. It's going around. I think it might be retweeted from the LFC Day Trippers, right? And go and watch it. He struggles to... he's fuming, right? And that's the first thing. And don't let anyone tell you any different. That's the first thing. He's fuming because he's struggling to put a sentence together. For a man that's a journalist and should be dealing in facts and having decent contacts and stuff like that, he's told you Liverpool have played well for about a year. That's the second thing. And then while he goes on and on, he can't help mentioning Manchester United. And then he says, I like this to be balanced. It's absolutely ridiculous. As Kev says there, the others on the show are mortified. He's an idiot. All right.
He writes to that rag. So, the aim of decency and balance goes out the window.
Yeah, it was. Listen, you know the way you see people put up stuff online for clickbait and stuff like that. He's doing that in a television form. That's what he's doing because he get a reaction and that's what he's looking for. And people probably going.
I think he's just a blatant simpleton because he's the one that Louis Van Gaal. Remember, I had the press conference and kept calling him the fat man. Yeah, and he had a big row with Van Gaal, and he had some bet then about who could lose more weight. This fella's a blatant lula.
Well, I just watched that, and I kind of took the fact that I don't like him as a journalist out of it, and listened to the words he said and the way he said them, and you can pick it apart very easy. I'm no psychologist, but the way I looked at it was, this man is fuming. This man doesn't know his facts. This man is making claims about Liverpool that are simply untrue. And then he's decided that it wants to be balanced. And I'll put it to Neil Custis, right? If this was the other way around and Liverpool were 16 points off Man City and Man City were doing this, they would be hailed and lauded as the best side the world has ever seen. And it's as simple as that. And you're going to get loads of this because as Liverpool approach this and attempt to win this league title and could do so with a record points total, without barring disaster, you're going to get a lot of media come out and do this, and they're going to try and knock it down in some way. They'll do it through a lot of gritted teeth, and let them. And I tell you what their fear is, and I've said it all the time, and I've said it since KLOPP took over. Their big fear is there's a group of media people, journalists, people on Soccer Saturday, i.e. Matt Letizia, and people like this, and they fear that they're going to be time warped back to their childhood when Liverpool swept everything up in front of them, ruined their childhood for them, and now that they're fearing this happening again, and that's simply what it is. Let me see. Worst present you've ever got, says Dylan. Once got a pirate copy of the Gorillaz album and he couldn't name one song. Worst present you've ever got? Chris?
I'm having a think. Just having a think.
Okay, you have a think, Keith.
My man and dad listen to this, so I bet on us saying that Dave give me.
Okay. Your man and dad listen to this?
Oh yeah, they think I'm a celebrity now.
Oh, do they? Okay.
Yeah, YouTube sensation.
Okay. Do you want me to tell them how much you're paid?
Tell them nothing.
Okay, that's grand. Say nothing. Yeah, that's perfect. Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Plunkett.
Yes. How are you, man? How are that? Worst present I ever got. Jeez, it's a tough one. I got a pair of jocks actually at Chris Kindle there in Christmas. And, I'm not the smallest person in the world. And these jocks are the sort of things you'd see in a Bladen stripper wearing. So don't know if much thought went into them or they were sitting in someone's drawer, you know, they were just getting rid of them. But,
from last year.
Chris Kindle, what can you do?
No, there's nothing you can do. I did get the Torres book. I got the Torres book literally as he left Liverpool. You know the way he left at the end of that January? And I got the book literally a week later because it was somebody I hadn't seen over the Christmas, and he went, oh yeah, I have a present there for yourself. I didn't see over Christmas. I opened it. Was a Torres book. He just left Liverpool. So that was good. Chris, have you got anything for us?
I can think of the worst present I gave along similar lines.
Yeah, go on.
My brother's 21st, I got him a Torres shirt in a box with his signature embroidered into it, the black shirt. Looked really smart. He got it on the 13th of Jan, and 2 weeks later he left.
Yeah, so similar to mine.
Yeah, so I was with. That's probably the shittest present I'm giving out.
Yeah,
so
you should be. Don't be doing that until the transfer window shuts in August or something like that.
But it was memorable for his 21st.
Yeah, well, look, he
just for all the wrong reasons.
And he probably sold it on and made a few quid, so everyone's a winner.
If you think that's bad, lads, spare the thought for whoever I get in the Chris Kindle next year, because they're getting a pair of jocks that I've only worn once.
Just wrap them in cling film and then just send them back. But look, I think that's about it. Anything else before we go, Keith?
No, just what a time to be alive, you know. I mean, looking on Twitter and all this, the amount of fans from other teams that are still trying to put up a fight and still obscenely, I was saying today, claiming that Liverpool are getting VAR decisions.
The tainted title, Keith.
Tainted title, it's great. We are moonwalking to this title, and everyone is losing that shit. And we had this chat before, you know, would you rather get a last day or would you rather get the procession? The procession every day of the week. It's like we're winning this title every week, and it's breaking hearts all over the place. I love it. I think it's great.
North Reds reckon if we win the league, Tyler will retire with a bit of luck. Antico says Carlito's Way or training day. Carlito's Way, please.
Carlito's Way.
Allison clocked at 16 miles an hour in a sprint to Salah. I think that there's something wrong. That speed gun needs to be recalibrated, because he got there much quicker than that. Let me see. Dylan says, I don't know if any of you have seen the Netflix show You. It's very strange. My wife watches it.
It is very strange.
Yeah, my wife is watching it. I wouldn't watch it. My wife is watching it and says it's a bit weird. But Chris, anything else before we go?
No, I mean, with regards to taking the title thing, the best thing you can do with that is just say yes to everything.
Oh, yeah. Use the hashtag.
And use the hashtag and say you're appalled and say you agree. Because I say nothing, that really winds them up even more. Yeah. I've learned that from Gav. It's good fun.
Yeah, it is.
Just say yeah.
Just keep agreeing with them and telling them they're right, and then they get really upset, and then you ask them why they got upset, and then they blame you for upsetting them when they started the whole thing in the first place. And it's really good. And I'll say it again, right? It's only because it's Liverpool, lads.
Yeah.
If it was anybody else, it'd be there'd be a Sky Sports Man United, every week showing them on a loop. It'd be a Sky Sports Man City showing them on a loop. It's only because it's Liverpool. And trust me, the fear is there that Liverpool, after ruining childhoods in the 70s and 80s, are coming back to ruin some more. Let me see. Dylan O'Rourke says, I'll come back Wednesday with a question not involving physically abusing minors. Thanks a million, Dylan. That would be a massive, massive help.
Don't rule it out, Dylan.
Don't. You know what I mean?
These kids
I would rule it out. I have to rule it out. You can't be bashing minors. You just can't. Let me see. North Red says, another great day. Statement made. We go on, and it's killing them. It absolutely is. With regards to podcasts this week, lads, the club will be on tomorrow. So they will record tomorrow evening and be out later on tomorrow night for download. Tuesday, there won't be a podcast. I'm actually in London with Grizz on Tuesday, so we won't be doing anything that day. Wednesday, I will do something during the day, I'd say, and I'll record it during the day. If you're anybody's around, absolutely feel free to join me. Thursday, we'll be live straight after the match, and then Friday, we'll see how we get on. I am literally on a mad schedule at the moment, but I'm doing the absolute best for you to try keep this as smooth as possible. But listen, nobody's going missing, because Liverpool are just taking this league apart, and it's great to see. Chris, thanks a million for joining me.
No worries, mate. Thanks for having me.
Good stuff, and I'll talk to you during the week. Keith, I will talk to you during the week as well.
Pleasure as always. Thanks, Gav.
Good stuff. Liverpool 2, Manchester United 0. 16 points clear, a game in hand. 64 points out of 66 Something along them lines, am I right?
That's right, mate. Good maths.
Yeah, thanks a million. 60, is it 60, is it 64?
64 out of 66.
Okay, great stuff. 64 points out of 66. I'm literally, all the numbers are floating around in my head and I can't make any sense of them. But look, we're brilliant. Don't let anybody tell you any different. Keep using that hashtag to taint the title. It's well worth it for an hour's entertainment on your lunch break. We're champions elect. Over and out.